welcome you to the show. First name's Donnie, last name's Glover. In it to win it for the long haul, baby. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. All right, all right, all right. I tell you, with the internet, it's always something. It's always something. You just bear with us for a second. And one thing about life, you don't get no do-overs. Unmute yourself there, love.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
How you doing?
I'm well. I'm well. In the house, recovering from a knee injury, unfortunately.
What happened to your knee? You out there breakdancing?
Yeah, yeah. But no, I took a unfortunate fall, and what's happening is I pulled my quad muscle. Yeah. So I guess
So
it's more.
why don't you take a moment and introduce yourself? I'll be right back. I got to switch computers.
No problem. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Talea Dixon. I am the owner and operator of Lulu Beast Closet, a inner city thrift shop where I offer multiple different programs. One of the programs I'm actually known for is my dollar program. I have a dollar rack there where you can come in and shop on my dollar rack. I also have a 20% off discount on Fridays. I do customer appreciation on Fridays. So I try to give back as much as possible to my community uh, through my thrift store. I feel like my shop is a hub for business relationships, all types of things. I love having the kids there. So that's me. I guess we'll just wait till Mr. Donnie comes back. But check me out. I'm at 1300 West Lafayette Avenue. That's Baltimore, Maryland, 21217. I'm in Suite 2. My hours of operation is Tuesday through Saturday from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. Sunday, 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. And I
So
donation.
how long have you been involved with the Sandtown? What was this? The Sandtown Collective, Sandtown Winchester Collective.
So I've been involved with the collective for a little over a year now. Yeah, little over a year now. I joined the collective back in August.
And for those who don't know, what is the Sandtown Collective?
So Sandtown as a community collective it's a organization pretty much formed. Um, I'm sorry. It's a collective of multiple different organizations founded by Tracy Malone, where we come together and create safe spaces for children or try to find resources for families. It started with Eddie B Productions, where Tracy Malone is the executive director of that as well, where they were going into the communities and pretty much having like pop-up game days where they were called pugs and just created those safe spaces for youth in that particular community.
So one of the challenges that we face here in Sandtown, and we're going to talk about your store and how that fits into the broader piece, but one of the major challenges we face here in Sandtown, as in other urban communities across the nation, is mental health challenges. Would you agree?
I do agree. I do agree. I do agree.
When you walk around this community, and let me just say this show is brought to you by New Life Recovery. It is a nationally accredited and state licensed center that provides substance abuse treatment and mental health services. And for anyone who's looking for treatment on demand, do call the number below 240-253-3663, treatment on demand. But when I walk around Sandtown, yes, that we have viable people, we have vivacious, lively people, We have people who are productive. We have homeowners. We have people who are employed, people with college degrees. But there also is a degree of mental health challenges in our community. Not everybody is doing well. I mean, you can walk out your door and just like you can see somebody getting ready to go to work, you can also see somebody getting ready to stand on the corner for 10 hours.
For sure. I do agree.
We have vacant houses. They say we've got more vacant houses here in Sandtown than anywhere else in the city. And what that does to our collective psyche, even if you're a homeowner, it's like, damn, another vacant house.
For sure.
How does that weigh on the mind?
I feel like your environment sometimes dictate your mood. So if you constantly walk outside to trash and abandoned houses, you kind of feel empty. Like you don't see anything that's uplifting. You don't see trees, you don't see families, you don't see positivity in the community. So it weighs on you ultimately every day because this is what you see every single day. And I think that some people also get comfortable in those situations. Like you almost think like I can't get away from this. So that kind of plays on your mental as well. You might think I'm only good enough for this, not realizing that if we improve that area, maybe it'll improve your mindset. So I feel like it has a different impact on different people sometimes.
The drugs.
Awful, awful, awful. Unfortunately for me, I am a child of a user. And I feel like when those type of drugs were introduced to families, I feel like they pretty much destroyed families. And ultimately we are raised, not, we are raised with maybe just one parent or maybe no parents, due to drugs. And, I personally, I struggle with that by myself, about the drug use, the addiction. I understand it could be a mental thing. I get that. But I feel like if it was never introduced to our community, we probably wouldn't have to worry about that problem. But unfortunately, it was.
How do you deal with it?
Um, I try my best to process what it is that I go through and what it is that I feel. I try not to look at it in a negative way. I try to look at it in a positive way. Like, you know what? Okay, people like my dad exist, for people like substance abuse counselors to exist, so those people are put in positions to possibly help him get through whatever addiction. And also, I thank God that I have the loving heart that I do not to kind of down him for his addiction. Sometimes it is disheartening because we don't have a positive relationship because of the addiction. But what I do is I might drive by his job just to kind of satisfy that need of wanting to know if he's okay. So, I have my different ways of dealing with that. I just wish that it was never introduced, to our community. But here we are.
On that note, we lost an icon this week in the community. I don't know if you got the word, but our beloved Jerry Cross got his wings this week. Do you remember Jerry?
I met Mr. Jerry briefly at, I want to say it might have been your event. I don't think that him and I had had much of an interaction, but from what I've heard about Mr. Jerry, I heard that he was a phenomenal person. I do, my heart goes out to him, his family, my condolences. So, I
He was an icon of a person. There was a time I was out here rip racing and running these streets, and there was somebody like Jerry Cross who pulled the young cat to the side and said, "Let me show you some things. Let me show you something else, because the route that you're going is only going to lead to death, institutions, or being a derelict." And when you look around our communities, we have a lot of derelicts. I can look out my window, and literally right now, I'm looking at a derelict person. People that just walk up and down the street, all in the alleys, late night.
yeah.
Tell me about the impact of Freddie Gray on Sandtown.
Um, I honestly I can't really speak too much about the impact on of it in a positive, light because I've
What can
never.
you talk about? Do you
Um,
remember Freddie Gray?
I remember Freddie Gray, but again, I'm from East Baltimore, so what I heard pretty
Y'all,
much.
y'all, y'all had East Monument Street. East Monument Street had some
Well,
damage.
I'm from Igger Street, so I'm from like that little area right there, Igger Street, Ashland Avenue, Rutland Avenue.
Monument Street is the closest shopping area over there.
Well,
I know
we had Church Square. We had Church Square. Church Square is closer than Miami Street is.
that's true.
Yeah, so we had Church Square.
It's just up the block. Come on, now, Talea.
Yeah, at some point, but no, what I can say is, I did see that people came in to uplift the community. I'm not sure exactly what happened. I'm in that particular community often now. Um, I do see a mural of him, but other than that, I really haven't. I really can't speak too much on it. I'm not sure.
When did you move to Sandtown?
So I moved to Sandtown. Well, I moved my business to Sandtown in June of this year. June of this year.
So you're really a newbie.
Yes, I am a newbie. Yes, I am new to all of this. Everybody. I tell everybody that I'm new to this. I
No,
just
you've seen it. So let me give you one thing that happened since Freddie Gray. Everybody knows, like Colin Kaepernick took a knee. The police in Baltimore took a knee.
okay.
Do you remember that?
I remember all of that. Yes.
After Freddie Gray, the cops kind of fell back. Like Marilyn Mosby, you want to prosecute cops? We're going to take a knee. Do you remember that?
I remember that. Yes.
Since then, now you over in East Baltimore, let me tell you what I saw here in Sandtown. We saw an inundation of addicts who weren't from here coming here.
Mm.
Addicts who were not black. And that's why they stood out. And it's why they stand out. Did you see non-black addicts coming to East Baltimore like never before?
I can't. No, not often. I can't.
Well, Sandtown got really transformed. And so now in Sandtown, there are a lot of addicts who are from other communities.
Hmm.
And this treatment, let me just say, we love everybody.
Okay.
This show, that's sponsored by New Life Recovery Center, is for everybody. New Life Recovery Center, they will help anybody and everybody. And I'm only pointing it out because we live in a racist country. So on Fox News, you'll see the squeegee kids. You'll see news stories on Fox about the squeegee kids.
Hmm.
Fox has not been a friend of the black community, but the squeegee kids, in most every instance, are black kids.
For
But they
sure.
will never say a word about the white panhandlers on the corner. And I'm not singling them out, but I am talking about the mental
Hmm.
image that Fox paints of
Hmm.
the black community. Do you ever see that?
I see it. I see.
The
Um,
difference?
I see it. Like I said, I can't kind of speak on what happened in the past, but just just being in that particular community now, I see different people of different cultures, of different backgrounds, and it's more now than I've ever seen before. And most of them people are not the doctors and the lawyers. Unfortunately, they are the addicts, that you currently see in the Sandtown area. So yeah, I do see it often. And for me, it's a little eye opening because I'm like, I don't want to sound mean when I say this, but I'm going to say it. It's okay for them to kind of come in our community to do that, but we're not accepted in their community to do that.
Hello?
So and I totally understand. It's acceptable. People accept it here, but for me, I'm like, we struggle with our own people looking like zombies. I don't think that we need any additional people to come in and help us look bad. So that's just my thought on it.
Yes.
No, I I try to help where I can, and that's with the kids.
Well, we will help anybody, but
Yes,
that's
but
the importance of having our own news outlets, because the mainstream news is never going to say this.
no, not at all.
The mainstream news, particularly Fox, they go after not just the squeegee kids, but it seems like they go after our black elected officials.
You see them on often.
I mean, the way Fox goes at Brandon Scott, our mayor, it's like, geez, if we had a white mayor, would you go after them the same? And so, does racism ever bother you?
I mean, not really. It doesn't bother me. I used to live in Cumberland. I moved to Cumberland in 2017. I just recently moved back in 2013, 2017 from 17 to 23. I did experience a racist, situation. It didn't really bother me too bad because I stood my ground and I had to let her know that regardless of what our differences may be, you're not going to treat me like a different type of person. So it bothers me that it exists, but I feel like I've never been in a situation where I had to kind of like, or it made me feel less than a person. I can't see that. I'm sorry. I can't see that. So
Mental health issues are not just in the black community.
absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's in every community, to be honest with you.
It was brought to my attention, and this is the mental health show. It's brought to you by New Life Recovery. It's all about getting our mind right. If I think right, if I think better, I do better.
That's
But
true.
it was brought to my attention that a lot of white people were traumatized by 8 years of Barack Obama. And that's something you and I would never really peep. We never really catch that because we're not white.
We're not white. I mean, I do again. Who I'm not sure, but there are therapists that could help people that's traumatized by things like that. So again, there's help for stuff like that. I don't know.
What does a community like Sandtown need?
Involvement. Um, I, involvement, commitment, initiative. They need more people to be involved in the decision making of Sandtown, but also you need more people to take the initiative to want to be involved in Sandtown. I do feel like Sandtown is a community that could possibly turn around with the right leadership, but I feel like right now you need a lot of involvement in the community.
You're the group you're part of, the Sandtown Collective. What ages are typically involved in the Sandtown Collective?
As far as members or people who
Members.
members,
Yeah, who's been showing up?
members, I want to say I might be the youngest. I'm 35. I think everybody might be a little bit older than I am. And I want to say it go up all the way up until maybe like 70, I want to say.
But you, Tracy, that group is what, 35, 45?
Yeah, between 35 to like 45. Yes. So we're fairly young. Yeah, we're young.
How important is it for us older people? I'm 59. Us older people to get involved in Sandtown and transforming the community. To
Older
you, to
I
you, what's it mean to you to see us show up?
To me, I feel like older people have the knowledge of Sandtown. You guys have the history of Sandtown. You guys sit at a level where you need to be respected because you were there. So you kind of been through the transformation, different transformations of Sandtown. So I feel like you guys are very, very, very important when it comes down to anything as far as Sandtown. But yeah, you hold the knowledge and the wisdom and that history of where Sandtown was and could potentially go in the future. So I feel like the OGs or the people that have been there for a while, you guys play a very, very important part.
Why did you become a part?
I became a part of Sandtown because of the pugs. Um, Actually, I wasn't even introduced originally to Tracy or anybody. I was originally introduced to someone else. Her name was Kia. So I was actually hired. Well, I actually volunteered to style in the entire fashion show. And then from there, I met Tracy, and then I seen what she was doing as far as like the pop up game days in the projects. I can remember being a child in East Baltimore where a young lady, she would come outside, we would play jacks, we would play hopscotch. And I just felt like, okay, this is where I needed to be. And the more I went back, the more I kind of fell in love with what they were doing. The more I kind of fell in love with the kids. I kind of fell in love with the just the community itself. And I just was like, oh, okay, it's dope over here. So plus it reminded me of my little small tight knit community in East Baltimore. So one of the reasons why I stayed as well.
Let's see if Cindy will come and join us. Cindy, I'm going to put a link in the chat. She's what, on YouTube? Cindy, you need to come on in and give us some love. Cindy Collins. Miss Cindy. It is important that us older folk come and be a part of it. I guess I've been doing this 30 years here in Sandtown.
Mm-hmm.
And when I first started, it was elders like Margaret Ruffin around in Gilmore Homes, or Miss Ella, who was with the Sandtown Winchester Improvement Association, or Liz Carter, Neil, KC's mom. They are the OGs. Well, they were the OGs then, I guess. You know, now they double OGs.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about Tracy Malone. How important is she to Sandtown?
Tracy is phenomenal. Let's start there. Tracy is outspoken. Tracy is a fighter. Tracy is a survivor. Tracy
He
is
don't take no SHIT.
he is everything above. But also Tracy stands on business, and she's one of those type of people where she's gonna give when she doesn't even have it to give. And I feel like for Sandtown needs somebody like her because she's gonna continue to keep pushing and keep fighting. And she knows what's right, and she's gonna do what's right, and she's gonna continue to keep doing what's right. And sometimes it may ruffle, some feathers, and okay, but she sticks to what's right. And when I say that girl do her research, as I tell her all the time, you should be an FBI agent. She's very knowledgeable. She's very intelligent, and she's dedicated to what she's doing. And I feel like her words are powerful. And I tell her all the time, sometimes you are put in certain rooms because you are meant to speak to those people. So that's my love. Everybody knows that. But yeah, for sure. She's very, very important to Sandtown.
Who would you like to see more of in Sandtown?
Um,
Getting involved in our community, get-togethers, meetings, activities.
I would not just single out one single person, because then we'll
No,
have.
no, not a person. I mean
I
institutions.
would just see, and even with that, I'm not going to single out one institution. What I will say is this: I feel like everybody that can possibly get involved. I feel like you should be involved. Especially if your organization is anchored in Sandtown. If you have a 21217 attached to your address, any and everything that's a part of that area code, you should want to be a part of, in my opinion. I can't.
Well, I will tell you this. I've seen this. A lot of entities
Mm-hmm.
have said, "Oh, we're helping Sandtown." Like they're coming here to save people, like the people here, like we can't save ourselves, but they're coming here to save Sandtown, and they write these things, or we're going to provide this, we're going to provide that, the little buzzwords, education, after school programs, and next thing you know, they get the grant and you never see them again. So here's my question. Nonprofits,
Mm-hmm.
and Baltimore's got a ton of them, who
Mm-hmm.
say they're going to help Sandtown, but they don't. How do you feel about that? And first of all, am I right or wrong about that? Have you seen that yourself?
I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen it. For me, and I know I've spoke freely about this before in meetings. It's upsetting to me that people can come in and collect the money and don't do the work. But I can't really focus on what they are doing because then it takes me away from what I need to do.
I
Right.
know, but we're talking about this for the sake of
So
exposing it to
yes.
the broader community. What does it feel like when people are getting 50,000, 100,000? I know you've been in the meetings. I know you've heard the conversation. They're going to help Sandtown, and then you pull back the covers and you find out these
So,
people ain't trying to help nobody but themselves.
so for me, I'm just like, what? Like what? And it frustrates me. And like I said, I've spoken.
Damn right, it's frustrating.
It's frustrating for sure because how do you get the money when you're not doing the work? That's always my answer. Why are you able to get the money when you're not?
Games, games.
For sure, it's games. It's definitely games. So you see it all the time, and you hear it all the time. But I also feel like stuff like that it don't last long. So you'll have your run right now, your 15 minutes of fame, but eventually it'll come crashing down. And that's just that's just how I look at it.
In your brief time here in Sandtown, and thank you very much for joining us. What elected officials have you seen show up? Whom you have seen show up for Sandtown?
I've seen Bullock. No, I'm not even gonna say. I'm gonna say I said Bullock first because I just seen him last the other night. But I've seen Torrance. Majority.
Councilman Bullock, Councilman John Bullock, Councilman James Torrance.
So I've seen Councilman James Torrance majority of the time when it comes to anything as far as Sandtown. I've seen Senator Antonio Hayes. He's came, a few there. And like I said, I just said Bullock up at the top of my head because I think his name is John Bullock. Um,
Yes.
I just seen him at he came to our last community meeting. So yes, I've seen him, a few times.
Did you? I mean, that's good, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, how many times are they supposed to be there? Is it a number?
Well, I tell you this, great question. They come as often as we invite them. So first, if you're going to transform a community, you got to know who your elected officials are
And I do agree. I do agree.
and how to get in touch with them.
I do agree. I do agree. So I feel like they should be there more with information so we're able to get in contact with them.
But it's if we go start a community group, it's up to us as citizens to one, know what council district we live in. Santana has two of them. John Bullock has the bottom of it. Torrance has the top of it.
And for
So we also are in a state legislative district. Senator Antonio Hayes is the senator, and then we have 3 state delegates. So a part of voting and being astute is knowing who our elected officials are. And it's not just for us here in Sandtown. You were in East Baltimore, quite likely your state senator was Corey McCray.
So my question is, how do you propose that they be in the community more? What are some of your suggestions that they should do to be in the community a little bit more?
First, we got to know what council district we are in.
Got you, got you.
Then, just like we on TikTok off every day, we can go to Baltimore City Board of Elections and find out what our address, who represents our address.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get any information for the city of Baltimore at 396-3100.
Right.
Anybody affiliated with the city, call 396-3100 and ask the operator.
So you propose that people be more involved in themselves to find out who.
The first thing, you don't know how many phone calls I get every day. And it's because in many cases, people don't know who the hell represents them. I got their cell numbers. I'm a journalist. I'm a reporter. I got their numbers. But everybody should have their numbers.
Right. Right. True.
I got people from Randallstown that call me about their elected officials.
Mm-hmm.
I got their cell numbers too. So one, we got to know what district we live in. Two, who our city council person is. Number two, what state district we live in. I live in the 40th state legislative district. And then we live in a federal district. We live in the 7th congressional district, where Kwesi Mfume is our congressperson. Also on the federal level, the state of Maryland has 2 U.S. senators, one being newly elected Angela Alsa Brooks, the first black woman who's been a U.S. senator for the state of Maryland. Maryland just catching up real slow. And then also Senator Chris Van Hollen. So we need to know who our elected officials are on the local, the state, and the federal level. And just like we all on TikTok, we should know how to get in touch with them, because there's nothing but you press Google and put your address in there. Or like I say, for the city, you can call 396-3100. For the state, you can call 410-841-3000, 841-3000. And then for the congressional, just go to U.S. Congress, U.S. Senate. Go to Google, type in U.S. Senate in Maryland, and it will show you your 2. Every state has 2 U.S. senators. So a part of my job as a journalist, but also a part of an elected official's job, is educating people. Really, we should be learning this stuff in school.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
But considering we live in a day and time where they're not even teaching cursive.
Yeah.
I know damn well ain't nobody gonna tell you who your elected officials are. Because if we knew who our elected officials were, we'd be blowing their phone up, blowing their email up, knocking on their door, and say, hey, we need this. We need this. I got some illegal dumping that I got to get taken care of. So let's get back to the mental health piece. What would you like to see for the young people in Sandtown? How are the young people doing in Sandtown from your lens?
Improving. I will say that the young people, they need a little bit more guidance. Positive influencers, positive environments, maybe a clean environment, a little bit of more love and compassion and understanding. That's what I see, so far from dealing with the young people in Sandtown.
Talea, 70% of our households are headed by single women. Any word of encouragement for the men in the community? These women didn't make these babies by themselves. Any word of encouragement? What would you like to see more of out of us men?
Stepping up and taking care of your kids. Take care of your kids. I feel like the fathers are very important. Like you play a very vital role in your child's life, despite what you may think. You play a very vital role in your child's upbringing. A child cannot be raised with one parent. And I used to work for the Department of Juvenile Services. A lot of those kids were raised by single parents. And sorry to say, some of the worst kids are raised by single parents. Well, single households anyway, because you don't have that balance. So I encourage the mothers and the fathers to step up, because sometimes it's not just a father that's not stepping up. We ran into some men, they are single fathers, or the aunts of somebody. Move. The I'm sorry, the aunts, somebody else are raising your children. So again, just the parent, just step up, be in their lives as much as you possibly can, because it's very, very important. It's very important.
Who is that, Talea?
Oh, a friend of mine. I told you my leg is messed up, so she walking my dog.
It's okay. They want to say hello.
No, I forgot. She didn't realize I was on YouTube. She walking my dog.
Let's see the dog.
Come here, Ashton. Oh, keep here.
Now, how important is your doggy to your mental health?
Very, very, very important.
You
Very.
damn right.
Huh?
You darn right.
Listen, this is my baby. I've had him for 9 years. He's very important. Very important.
He
He's
must be got his own walker.
well, who else gonna walk? But he's very important. Like I said, I used to live in Cumberland. I was there for about 5 years, and nobody else was pretty much there with me but Ashton. So he kind of gave me that calm. Like he gave me something to come home to, and like he also gave me like that I have to get up and keep moving. So yeah, that's my guy. That's my guy. So yeah.
I got a German Shepherd, but my German Shepherd's on timeout right now.
Oh, what did he do? What did he do? He's sorry. He didn't mean it.
Whatever. He on timeout.
He didn't mean it.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Don't keep doing it.
I do understand that. And people don't understand that pets are like your children. They are so intelligent, especially if you had them for a long time. Like Tim,
12 years.
they are definitely your children. I don't have any biological children, so that's my little fur baby. Yeah. I posted him on TikTok. He had like 13,000 views on TikTok. The most views I've ever gotten on my TikTok collectively. It was him. So yeah, that's my guy.
I agree. How does social media impact your generation?
Well, my generation,
From a mental health standpoint.
um, I can only speak from me and my close kind of circle. We have we kind of have our pros and cons with social media. Me personally, I don't like the fabrication of social media, and I feel like that kind of puts people in like a bad mental space because you probably feel like you have to kind of live up to the expectation of social media, not realizing that a lot of social media posts and stuff on social media is not real. So I don't really, that's the part of social media I really don't, particularly care for. But the part where it can expand your business, and those type of things, I really encourage, social media for that. But the fabrication and the violence, or just the misconception of like black women on social media, I feel like that can really play put a damper on your mental health as well, because you just see it all the time.
I see some stuff by adults on social media that helps me to realize I need a time out from it.
I agree. I listen.
Men and women
I do agree.
in our community. I'm like, I can't believe you put that out there, sir. Ma'am, I can't believe you put yourself out there like that, ma'am. You're somebody's parent, you're somebody's grandparent, and here you acting like a teenager.
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, and I feel like also because people feel like they can get like you can make so much money off of social media, they are willing to put any type of intimate moment on social media just for a coin. And right
That's
now,
prostitution.
yeah, it is. Yeah, for sure. Yes, it is, and I do agree with you. I do agree with you. So I do agree. But it's like, how do you fix it? Because I don't see social media going anywhere anytime soon. And in my opinion, I feel like it's just only getting worse than it's getting better. So
It is getting worse.
getting worse for sure. So it's just like, what solution do you now come up with to try to turn it around? Like,
Mental health counseling.
yeah, that's true.
I'm seeing people who are literally naked on
Mm,
social media.
yep,
There's something wrong up here. There's some low self-esteem
yep,
that requires some therapy.
for sure. I do agree.
I want to know personally as many therapists as I can. I want as many therapists in my life as possible.
Mhm. Mhm.
I think we all need therapy. If you live in Baltimore and you look out your window and see what I see, you darn right you need some therapy. But in the same vein, people live up in Cumberland, Western Maryland, up in the mountains,
Mhm.
Appalachia, need therapists too. One thing COVID did to Leah is isolated a lot of people.
It did. It did. It did. It did. It did. Unfortunately, COVID, yeah, it did. And whatever separation that we thought we had in the beginning, we currently have it's like 10 times worse now. So it's again, how do you get past something like COVID to kind of bring people back together, so we can get over certain issues and certain problems.
I want to ask you about the seniors in
Hmm.
Sandtown. Do you see any seniors in Sandtown, and how are they doing?
I've seen, you see seniors in passing. Again, I can't really speak too much on, how they doing, day to day, but I feel like the seniors in Sandtown, they might need a little bit more assistance. They don't have anything else to do. They just seniors in Sandtown. Like, they just there, and it's just like,
A lot of seniors. Now, you from East Baltimore, so you know about the Dawson family.
yes,
A lot of seniors feel like they are held hostage in their own homes. They can't come outside because drug boys on the corner.
yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
They feel like if they call the police, they'll be targeted, they'll be singled out.
That's true. That's true.
So, what's the store? Tell me about your store, Talea, and why did you start a store?
So, let me put
Or
my.
why did you move your business to our beloved Sandtown?
Okay, so my store I started about 4 years ago, with just selling my clothes. My mom was like, "Why don't you sell your clothes?" I'm like, "Okay." Started selling it. Did some work on a couple TV shows.
What shows?
So a show called Slay, a Slay with Maltese Huff, and then I worked on Tapped In with Miss Erica J. It came on midnight on channel 2. So you can go on YouTube and you can still watch it. It's called Tapped In with Miss Erica J. So I was the assistant stylist and the production office manager for those two shows. So I did those things, and then I decided to open up a brick and mortar. And from the brick and mortar, I hosted events. It's just pretty much a hub for everything fashion, everything family. I tell people all the time it's kind of hard to explain my shop if you have never been there before. Like, you just gotta come and experience it. Like, it just gives you a different type of feel once you come there. It doesn't feel like an actual thrift store. It looks like a boutique. Um, I just encourage anybody just to come in. But one of the
What,
reasons,
what's the name of it?
Lulu B's Closet,
Who?
Lulu B's Closet,
How you spell it?
Lulubs Closet. That's right.
Oh, B apostrophe S?
B apostrophe S.
Corner?
Closet.
Closet, my bad. And where are you located?
1300 West Lafayette Avenue.
Oh, you right down the street.
I'm right around the corner. I'm on Lafayette and Curry currently.
1300 West Lafayette Avenue.
Yep, that's where I am. Um, I originally started in East Baltimore. I was at 5839 Bel Air Road.
Is
Um,
that right there?
yep, that's it right there. Yes. So I was originally in East Baltimore. Tragedy struck my family. We lost two of our kids to suicide in June 17th, June 10th. So kind of hit me home. So I kind of
Last year?
last year, last year.
Were these
Back
your relatives?
they were, they were, they were.
How'd
Um,
y'all deal with it?
we're actually still dealing with it.
No doubt.
Um, it's something that is a feeling that you can't describe. I tell people that I can't put it into words how I felt, but yeah, it took a toll on my mental health. It took a toll on my emotions. It took a toll on everything. Like, I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, I couldn't function. And that was one of the reasons why I kind of shut my shop down. I kind of shut me down in that moment. Um, and you kind of asked me why I reopened. Sandtown is really one of the reasons why I reopened. The children of Sandtown, That's one of the reasons why I reopened. You
Like
know,
a re-inspiration.
it definitely was a re-inspiration, but it was definitely an eye opener. Um, and I tell people all the time, like I said, about the experience, and I kept telling myself, like, you you are bigger than what's currently happening, right? That you are that hub, so remain that hub. So regardless of how bad I was hurting, I had to continue to keep being that hub, right? So being in this community, I noticed that a lot of children just needed a lot of things, or they just needed somebody. So I felt like I needed to be that somebody. So we started this mentorship program. And one day, we happened to be outside and it was like 95 degrees outside. And me and my girls had to stand outside and we had to walk to the store. And I went to the store, we got them some things to kind of cool off and we went to the park. And I told my girls, I looked at them, I said, we will never, ever stand outside in the heat again. The next few weeks, I was set on a mission to find not only a hub for my girls, but a shop for them to not only see like the fashion part of me, but also like the resilient part of me. Like I went through all of this stuff, but I bounced right back, and I've only been closed for 10 months. So it just so Sandtown and experiencing all those type of things, it just gave me that motivation. Like, come on, like, okay, you know what the needs are, so let's just kind of figure out how we can help these young ladies and these young men. And my shop has been that. Saturday, Sundays, from 1 to 3, we do something called Creative Classroom, where youth are allowed to come in my shop, and we just pretty much have like weekly talk. How was your week? How are you feeling? And you're able to express yourself through fashion. We give them just unlimited choice, like unlimited time and unlimited choices, shoes, purses, everything they need to create a look for themselves. And we take pictures with them. It's a real big hit. And I get enjoyment from just seeing them enjoy their self. Like they freak out sometimes, like, oh my God, Miss Talea. But it gives me so much enjoyment. Like I appreciate the fact that I'm able to be that for them. So suicide, it put a different type of feeling in my body, because I'm like, what were you lacking? And whatever you were lacking, I never want another family to go through that, because their child might be lacking something. So if I'm available to be that person, to talk to you, for you to scream at, I got you. So that's why I came to Sandtown, and that's my store. That's what I do, unfortunately.
We had a family member that chose suicide also.
Yeah.
And you go through that if I woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Every day. Every day. Every day.
God knows best. And we pray that the good Lord would welcome them into the kingdom.
For sure.
But
For sure.
not God knew what was going to happen before that.
And I believe that. And I believe that.
But we also got to look at ways that we can prevent it from happening to someone else that we know.
Sure.
I'll tell you this, that veterans, at least 22 veterans a day in the United States choose suicide. A lot of cops choose suicide. And from the other end of the spectrum, a lot of inmates choose suicide. So I guess it's important that we continue to highlight it. I know we participated in Suicide Prevention Week, and I think the more information we get out there to people, do you see it more among young people than ever before in your life?
I do. I do. I do. And I feel like social media and, like I said, negative influences could be the reason why. Um I'm not going to say that it wasn't on a rise when I was a child. I'm not going to say that, but I feel like you didn't really hear about it as much, when I grew up, because we didn't have a lot of negative influences. But I feel like a lot of, children are
I
being.
grew up on North Avenue. You always had your bullies, and there was only one thing you could do with the bully. You got to fight the bully.
Yeah.
Now you got cyber bullies. So
Yeah.
this is not somebody that's trying to put their hands on you.
Hmm.
This is somebody that's using a damn mouse
Yeah.
and wreaking havoc on somebody's life. And that just blows my mind. It's one
But
thing
you
you
know
gotta
what?
fight this cat down the street. They bigger than you, so
But
you know
listen,
you got
but
it's
one,
a
but
cyberbullying.
not to cut you off, right? But outside of that, what was you always taught? I was always taught that words don't hurt you. That's what I was always taught. If it don't apply, let it fly. And I feel like a lot of these kids don't understand that what a person say to you, you don't have to respond to that. And that's what I was taught. So yeah, you went outside, and it might be a keyboard type of thing. But if we teach our kids that sometimes what people might say to you, if it don't apply to you, let's just say, okay, it doesn't apply to me, and I'm going to continue to keep strolling. So yeah, but that don't apply to me. People might say stuff underneath my posts all the time about the way that I put on stuff, my content. But you're not talking to me. Whatever you're feeling right now in that moment, you might, it might come through, and I ignore those type of things, because if I take in everything that somebody say to me negatively, I would be suicidal. I would be suicidal, and I would probably have already done it. So I feel like we also have to teach people that just ignore what people say. It's social media. It's not real. People are just mean. Unfortunately, some people are just mean. Cyberbullying is a thing because people just can't just stroll, cut the computer off, or delete the
Do
block
we?
the.
You think we watch too much television, or that we on social media too much?
Yep, absolutely, absolutely, I do.
There's some people who don't let their children watch television at all, or
Now,
only on the weekends.
and I'm okay with that. Certain times of the day when we was growing up, you could not watch certain programs. Like I wasn't allowed to watch The Simpsons when I grew up. So I commend parents that has
You weren't allowed to watch it.
The Simpsons. I couldn't watch The Simpsons.
Why?
My uncle was not having that. He would not let me watch The Simpsons. And even with being 35 years old and I had my own television, multiple TVs, I still kind of hesitate a little bit to even watch it. Like, should I watch it or not? Like, I don't know what it was.
I wasn't the biggest fan.
Mhm.
Why didn't he like you watching The Simpsons?
I guess the content that was on The Simpsons, he didn't feel like at that point.
They dipped into some adult stuff.
Right. So those people that has restrictions on what their children, watch, I do commend those adults, because you have control over that. You want your child to be able to, you want to expose them to what you want to expose them in due time. I don't see anything wrong with that.
In my day, it was real simple. You had Lassie.
Oh, the little dog, the dog.
The collie, yeah, Lassie.
Oh wow.
We had the little rascals.
The
Now,
original.
back in my day, you wouldn't hear cuss words on TV. Now you hear the B word on TV, and it's normal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or you see things that you like, oh.
Yeah.
So we exposing our children to a lot more adult content at an earlier age.
Yeah.
Or Talea, I saw this young couple. They were showing their daughter, a toddler, how to do this dance move. And the first word to the lyrics was the B word.
Hmm.
Who
Yeah.
teaches their toddler to cuss?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's going on there? I mean, am I missing something? Is,
Listen.
is that some mental illness?
It has to be. It
I'm
has
gonna tell you something else I saw. I saw this woman putting weave in a toddler's hair.
I seen that too when she glued. I seen that.
What in
Yep,
Sam's Hill is wrong with a person
yep.
that's gluing weave on a toddler? That's some mental illness.
It has to be. It has to be. It has to be.
She had the baby sitting up in there like the babies at the beauty salon.
I seen it
Time out, boo boo. Somebody call Child Protective Services
for
because
sure.
this person has lost their damn mind.
I did. I seen that. I seen that. Or
You put glue on a toddler's head.
you know what else? You know what else? I don't really condone either the exploitation of their children. Like I don't like to kind of see people always use their children for content. I feel like you a couple, couple pictures here and there, but some of the content that they put out with their children is like inappropriate. And I'm just like, why do you
Gotten
want
children saying adult things.
yeah, that too. I said, why do you want your child to even be looked at in a negative light like that? They have to grow up. And once they grow up, how are they now going to feel that you exposed them at 5 and 6 years old?
You exploited them. You said it.
Exploited,
Exploited them.
exploited them. Sorry, not exposed, but you
Because
exploited.
you want some damn likes.
Yeah, and money.
I'm going to tell you what get me, Talea. People that took off all their clothes and they get 5 likes.
Oh my, yeah.
Self, was it worth it? Patti LaBelle had a song, If You Don't Know Me By Now, You'll Never Know Me. And she had a line in there, Self, was it worth it? No, 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 no.
So I just think about years from now, like 5 and 6 years from now, when you are sitting somewhere and you're old and it's just like this stuff just pop up on the internet all over again, your grandkids see it. Like, how are you going to feel?
And white people don't get no pass. I'm seeing more old white men twerking. White people don't get no pass. I'm seeing hey, Mr. Man, you 67 years old. Why are you twerking?
Yes. Everybody, listen.
Everybody's twerking. What?
Everybody at some point.
I haven't seen no grown black men twerking. I personally haven't. You've seen that?
Mm-hmm. You just gotta go on TikTok. It's on there all day.
I'm trying to promote my program, my books, positive stuff. The day you catch me twerking, I want you to come around here on Carlton Avenue and bust my damn head.
I will. I for sure. You lost your mind for sure. Yeah, but hopefully, I just pray that if anyone if you're unsure about your mental health, that you really seek, some type of therapy, because some people are not even open to it. So just be kind of open to it.
Why not?
Yeah, that's true.
If we can get Brazilian butt lifts, if we can shoot a damn needle into our lips, what the hell is wrong with sitting down and bouncing your crazy ass thoughts off on somebody who can, like, well, you might want to consider this.
Yeah.
Lead paint. A lot of people don't know. Baltimore got a lot of lead paint. I'm going to tell you something that was brought to my attention again this week. Children with lead paint are called black gold to white lawyers. Children disaffected by lead paint with lead paint poisoning have been viewed for years as black gold. Not that white kids don't get lead poisoning too, but a lot of white lawyers have made millions off of black kids with lead poisoning. In Baltimore,
we was tested for lead. The levels weren't high enough. I think everybody was tested for lead at some point. It was crazy. I think all of the kids in my generation probably was tested for lead at some point.
And then you add in if their parents were, abusing drugs, and all of these things have an impact. Are you optimistic at all about Baltimore City Public Schools?
I am. We're gonna pray.
How so?
I feel like anything could be turned around. Anything could be fixed at some point or repaired with the proper work.
Yes.
So I feel like if we get a person in position that really has the compassion or the capability and or willingness to like really move the school system forward, I feel like the school system can move forward. I don't feel like it's just dead. I don't feel like it's just something that cannot be, revitalized or revamped. But you have to have someone in position that's willing to be, to do it. Me personally. Yeah.
Talea, I want you to take a moment and use this time to promote your business. Anything you want to show him, any hot items I need to come. I'm looking at that camouflage jacket over there, but Yeah. Let's get you to do a commercial for Lulu B's Club.
Okay. So hi, hold on, let me fix it. Hi, my name is Talea Dixon. I am owner and operator at Lulu B's Closet, located at 1300 West Lafayette Avenue. My hours of operation is Tuesday through Saturday from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. Sunday, which is also my donation days from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. We have a variety of sizes, a variety of different things. Come in and experience the Lulu B's experience. We'll see you when you get there. Bye bye.
And you give back too. You want to put a plug in for the Sandtown Winchester Collective and the many things that you do in the community.
Yes, yes. I'm also the program coordinator for Sandtown Winchester Community Collective. I actually help, us actually put together the events in the community for the children. I do a lot of give back events. We actually have a give back event coming up in December. So just keep an eye out on all of those, literally everything that we do. You can follow us at Sandtown Winchester on Facebook and Instagram to receive the information for the give back event.
And again, if you need treatment on demand, do check out New Life Recovery Center. They have treatment on demand, 24 hours a day. You can call that number below 2403. I thought I had it memorized. 253-3663. 240-253-3663. Treatment on demand for anybody, including people with gambling, because some people stuck down Horseshoe or Live and they done gambled away their house.
Okay, Donnie, and one last thing, if you have any literature for the treatment center, just drop
I
it
thought
off.
you was gonna ask me for some old clothes. I said I done
You
gave up my stuff.
you supposed to came and got the tennis shoes from me. I'm not playing with you, but
I
um
thought y'all had me donate some tennis shoes.
donate all that. We need donating shopping. We need you to come around here. Maybe we could do a second, but any information on the New Life Recovery Center you can bring to the shop. I'll post it there. Just customers coming in and out, we might can offer that, as an incentive as well. Hey,
I will let Mr. McCormick know we need some flyers out in the community.
because again, we can offer mental health. I'd also encourage that people use fashion as a way to cope with mental health. So maybe him and I we can get together, figure out some things for sure.
Can you do a fashion show?
I can do a fashion show.
I
I
have
can.
a, I have a big anniversary coming up. Don't play with me. We will whip a
Oh, don't play with me because by the time we hang up, you'll have a whole event planned.
Well, let me just help you out. So, in case you don't know, on December the 5th, we have our soiree.
Okay.
There you go, right there below. Black Wall Street soiree on December the 5th at the Downtown Cultural Arts Center. We would love to feature Lulu B's Closet. We
I
can we can weave that in there.
Yes, let's do it. Let's do it for sure. Let's do it.
There you
Let's
have it.
let's do it.
I'm so proud of you for getting involved. My roots, I started in East Baltimore. My first memory is Patterson Park and Lanville.
Okay.
And I'm a Dunbar poor. I used to live in North and Greenmount. My daddy had a funeral home. And then we moved back to West Baltimore when I was about 9, around 1974. So,
My
uh,
mom went to Dunbar. She's a Dunbar poet. She's a poet. And we
poet for life.
Chapel Street. So I'm Chapel Street, Igger Street, Rutland Avenue, all up in that little area. Ashland Avenue. We had the buildings over there. So yeah, I remember all of that. Stop Shop and Save used to be at us down Church Square.
I'm going to take you back deeper than that. You ever heard of Pantry Pride?
I'm not that old.
Super Pride?
I
I
remember.
mean, Super Pride. Oh my God. Black and yellow sign. Super Pride.
I remember Super Proud for sure, but it was thank you again. And I'm gonna tell you congratulations. Everything that you've been doing. You're phenomenal. And again, you're one of the OGs from Sandtown. I appreciate all the knowledge that you have. And I love the fact that you're a pit bull. I tell Tracy that all the time. Yeah, he's a pit bull, and we love that about you. So continue to always be you. Remain humble, no matter where you go in this life. Yeah, remain humble. So I appreciate.
If I think better, I do better. Again, treatment on demand is available at New Life Recovery 240. Hey, I go mess it up the number again. 253.
Write it down.
They're gonna get rid of me. 240. No, they're not. No, they're not, because we bringing people up in the door. 253
They come in the door.
63. Yes, man. I want you to have a beautiful weekend, and I will
Thank
be around to see you. No, seriously, tell me about that camouflage jacket right there.
So the camouflage, I can't get up. Like I said, I'm sitting down because I'm on crutches and stuff. But if you're able to fit it, so what I'll do is I'll have the young lady that works in my shop, I'll have her take it, and if you pull up on me, you can just try it on.
Good deal. I'm proud of you. Keep up the great work.
Appreciate you.
A special thank you to our fearless leader, Tracy Malone. She the real pit bull.
Yeah, she the real pit bull. All right, see you later, Donnie. Bye-bye.
Thank you. If I think better, I do better.